Howdy guys, in today's video I'm going to be doing a top 10 of skins that I think need a remodel. This is my own personal opinion, and I know they probably will end up getting remodels eventually, at least I hope so. There is only skins that I own or could buy at the time, so there isn't everything on this list that I think would need a remodel. There's no specific order, I'm just going through some things that I personally would like to see get remodeled. Sorry about the bad video quality. I'm going to start recording my DS videos on lower graphics because obviously my graphics suck for DS videos, and so does my computer. With that all said though, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I once again apologize about the video quality. Never ever again. Hopefully this outro comes out looking better. I'm playing on 3 graphics. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alrighty guys, straight into number 1. The leedsichthys. This thing is really cool. It's like a big fish that used to live a long time ago. But it would really fit our oceans better in Dinosaur Simulator with all the ocean skin remodels, if it got a remodel. As you can see, it looks a little blocky, its animation's a little rough. And I believe that this thing would be a great add-on to our oceans in Dinosaur Simulator. It's very cool. I personally like them because I used to play Ark on my Xbox, a dinosaur game where you survive, and they would attack my boats. And with that said, moving on to number 2. Alrighty guys, jumping right into the number 2 spot, we have the mosasaurus, something I believe deserves a remodel the most in Dinosaur Simulator. And my reasoning as to why, obviously, as you can see, it has no idle animation. It just continues bouncing up and down, and this bounce, it's kind of rough, and it's kind of blocky, its exterior. As you can see, those fins, they look kind of thicker. And I believe that giving this thing a remodel will definitely fit into the sea dinos getting their remodels recently. I believe that a lot of people would love to see a mosasaurus remodel, because a lot of people love the mosasaurus. I personally would love a mosasaurus remodel. It was the biggest in the mosasaurus family, I believe is the name. And, well, yeah. Moving on to number 3. Alrighty guys, jumping straight into our number 3 place, we have the icicle styracosaurus, or the frozen styracosaurus. This thing is a Roblox item, but I believe it was fairly cheap when I purchased it. I believe it still is fairly cheap. I believe this thing, along with a lot of triceratops skins, could use a remodel. This is a styracosaurus skin, of course, but the triceratops has a lot of skins that could use remodels. This thing is very blocky, it's very bulky, and quite frankly, if they give this a remodel, I think it was definitely worth the purchase. Like, for something that's almost free, it's worth the purchase. But still, it costs a tiny bit of real-world money, and for that fact, I believe this thing could use a remodel. And I think it would look absolutely awesome if it did get a remodel. Moving on to our number 4 spot. Moving on into our number 4 spot, we have quetzalcoatlus, or Quetz, as I'm going to refer to it for the rest of this video. I believe a lot of the flying dinosaurs need remodels, which is why I'm going to mention maybe a couple more. But Quetzalcoatlus is making this list because, as you can see, it has potential to have more looks to it. It has a lot of potential. And personally, I love the flying dinosaurs, especially the big ones. I love Quetzalcoatlus. I think that this thing deserves a remodel. It's blocky, but it is really cool. And I like all things that fly. I like all the dinosaurs in Dinosaur Simulator. But I'm quite biased in some's favor, one of those dinosaurs being the classic Quetzalcoatlus. Moving on to our number 5 spot. Moving on to the murusraptor, as you can see, this thing is bulky. It's kind of stiff with its movement. As you can see, like most of the things on this list, I know I didn't show it, it doesn't have any animation for it, almost anything it does. I'll show you all of its animations. That was its roar, its call, its growl. This is it compared to the Australopithecus skin or its crossover counterpart. As you can see, this is the crossover variant of the murusraptor. It's called the Australopithecus. I believe that it's slightly different, but still, to get my point across, this is how much smoother this one is. As you can see, it's a lot smoother. It's very recently added to the game. It's not too bulky. It's got some nice animations here. Give it its growl. And this is, as you can see, it's a lot smoother. Moving back to the murusraptor. As you can see, its crossover counterpart is a lot smoother. I know it's a slightly different dinosaur, but this thing deserves a remodel because its crossover counterpart is definitely superior and will take all of the player base. And yeah, moving on to our number 6th place. Alrighty guys, at our number 6th place we have the Arizonasaurus. This thing doesn't need much of an introduction as to why it's on this list either. As you can see, it's very bulky, very blocky. Its animation is incredibly stiff. This thing needs a remodel desperately. In my opinion, its tail is even blocky. That's something that we don't see too often. I believe that this thing needs a remodel. It wouldn't exactly improve any gameplay. I doubt a lot of people use this. But it would definitely make the variety more open-minded, and it would definitely allow more players to maybe express what they want to play as. I would play as this more because I like playing as all the dinosaurs in DS. And I got this explicitly because I want to play as one of those small spiny lizards that you, like, I forget what they're called, but they're in Ark. I think they might be in the Jurassic World. Yeah. With all that said, moving on to our number 7th spot. In our number 7th place, we have the gallimimus. Mine's is a baby right now, but it does get the point across. This thing is blocky, it's kind of bulky, and I think it could use a remodel just as bad as the Therizinosaurus needed a remodel. My reasoning as to why is because, well, it's a cool dinosaur. I think a lot of people would personally like to see it in the wild, play as it maybe. I know it would definitely be nice for role players who do play Dinosaur Simulator. And overall, the gallimimus is a really cool carnivore. We don't have a lot of carnivores in the game. We have a fair few, but definitely not as much compared to herbivores and carnivores. And I think we should show our carnivores some more love. Moving on to our number 8th place. Moving on to our number 8th place, we have the mastodonsaurus. This thing is also a baby because I just bought it for this video. But I have seen it. I have seen my brother play as it. He has an elder version, I believe, at this point. And I watched him grow it up, and it does not get better than this. This is exactly how it stays, just bigger. This thing could use a remodel because, well, it's like a crocodilian, it's like the megalania, and it just adds more quality to life to game, just like with the arizonasaurus. I believe that's its name. I believe that with that quality of life, some people may select it, might express what they want to play as, and yeah. Moving on to our number 9 spot. The ceratosaurus takes our number 9 spot for obvious reasons. One of the bigger reasons being the ceratosaurus got a crossover variant. Now, the ceratosaurus is blocky, bulky, it's stiff-moving, and quite frankly, it isn't fun to play as. With that being said, the ceratosaurus got a crossover variant, which I will show you now. Alrighty guys, here we have the crossover ceratosaurus. This is pre-recorded from the future. As you can see, it's a lot more smoother. This is its animations. That raw didn't render in. Let's do it again. There you go. Going back over to the ceratosaurus. As you can see, the ceratosaurus' crossover variant has some smooth animations. I'll show you its animations here. That's its roar, call. This is its growl. As you can see, we got barely any movement on the ceratosaurus. Now, I'd like to give some honorable mentions to some skins that I'm not going to list in this video, but they definitely are in need of remodels. And I personally, some of them I'm going to show are my favorite skins, or what I like and what I have, and I just think that that alone should definitely be worthy of a remodel. At least in my opinion, because it's me. Moving on to the honorable mentions. Alrighty guys, moving into our number one spot, one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this video, the chilantaisaurus. This thing has a lot of potential to be a cool big carnivore for us to play as, and well, it's big, it's bulky, and it's the only carnivore that still takes up this kind of design. As you can see, this is its animations. As you can see, it's not as stiff as others, it's definitely not as bulky as others on this list, but I really think this thing has potential. And I think this thing deserves a remodel. Personally, the thing I want most to get a remodel is the movie Spino, because it's my favorite skin I have. But in all honesty, not everyone has the movie Spino, which makes it kind of unfair for me to say that that should get a remodel, because I had to get mine through trading. And I needed to trade something expensive for it. Now, with that said, moving on to our outro. Alrighty guys, here we are at the outro. Now, as you can tell, there are a lot more skins that are in dire need of a remodel, but I don't own everything in the game. I can't go through everything. I'm not going to list everything because they are doing a lot of remodel works on skins in the game. They are definitely doing a lot of work. This is just my own opinion, because personally, I'd want to see all this stuff get remodels. With that being said, if you guys liked the video, please consider subscribing for our goal of 100 subs. And with all said and done, bye!